So I was watching my favorite Netflix show the other day, Jenny and Georgia.
Yeah.
And she kept saying her mom was gaslighting her. And her mom was like, gas bombing, gassing you up, whatever. I don't know what that means. And I started thinking, I was like, there are so many little catchphrases or words like therapy talk that we use, right? What do they actually mean? Are we using them the right way? So we need to lay it all out and see, okay?
We do.
Okay.
Welcome to It's a Mental Thing, the podcast that dives deep into the power of the mind and the heart of mental health. Whether you're navigating life's challenges, seeking balance, or simply curious about how to care for your mind, you're in the right place. Each week, we explore stories, strategies, and expert insights to help you build resilience, find clarity, and embrace a healthier you. So take a deep breath and let's journey together toward a brighter, more mindful tomorrow. Welcome to It's a Mental Thing, because your mental health matters.
All right, so therapy talk. There's all kinds of buzzwords. Just give me some buzzwords. We got gaslighting.
Toxic.
Boundaries.
Narcissistic.
Oh, we've talked about that a lot.
Manipulation.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm. All of them. Like,
there's so many.
And they're negative. They're the negative
Therapy
ones.
Yes.
Therapy.
Yeah.
It's therapeutic ways to tell someone that they're not a good person.
Yes. Therapy has its own language.
Yeah.
So whether you're new to therapy, whether you've not done therapy, or you just want to learn what these things mean and use them in the right way.
Yeah.
We're here to help.
Yeah. I mean, so I will honestly tell you that TikTok is diagnosing people. YouTube is diagnosing people.
You're stepping on my toes a little bit.
Listen, there's a hashtag therapy on TikTok or therapist on TikTok, which true therapists are on TikTok and they are actually giving good suggestions and diagnoses. But then when you have a teenager who says, I can't tell you honestly how many teenagers have come to me and have said they think they have autism because they learned on TikTok that some of their symptoms say that they're autistic.
Yes.
And I will say, okay, like there's a true assessment you have to take. There are true people who are autistic that would say otherwise, that your sensory issue, which is very real, means you're autistic. So there are so many things in therapy world that we're seeing now come to light because of social media.
Right.
Or shows that you were talking about.
Yeah.
And they throw these things out at people to just say, you're just gaslighting me. I'm going to set my boundary around you. I'm going to cut you off because you're toxic.
Yes.
So all of those things may be true in someone's situation or in their life, but do they know what word they're choosing to use, and is it right?
Is it accurate?
Right.
Yeah, that's what we need to know.
So, the biggest one in relationships, again, whether it's a family relationship, a romantic relationship, is gaslighting. And there are people out there who are gaslighting a lot of people. And there are people out there who feel like they're living with someone who is a gaslighter, and they're not.
Here's why I'm annoyed by this particular word.
Okay.
I don't understand why it's called gaslighting. I don't get that. And maybe I'm just dumb and everybody's laughing at me right now. But I don't understand. So tell us, first off, what is gaslighting?
I actually printed out the definition from the DSM I can read it to people that need to hear it and either know, whoa, this is what I'm living. Or maybe that person was just being mean. So there's a difference.
Maybe they're just a jerk.
Yeah, maybe they're just a mean person. So an example of gaslighting.
Okay.
Gaslighting is a form of psychological manipulation. So we're not just talking regular, hey, I'll get you a lollipop if you go to the bathroom manipulating someone to do something you want. It's psychological.
So give me an example.
So this is where a person causes the other person to actually question their sanity.
Okay.
their perception of reality, their own memories. It is a tactic used to gain power, so that other person is wanting to gain power over the victim that they're gaslighting. And they want to control that relationship in every way they can. And it often leaves the victim feeling extremely anxious, extremely confused, and then they're isolated.
And frustrated, I would imagine.
And
as
very
well.
frustrated
Yeah.
because now they can't determine reality
Right.
versus, did I say that?
Right.
Did I do that? So for example, let's go boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife. A true gaslighter. If you guys had a conversation the night before and it didn't go the way, we're going to say he, and it could be she, and it didn't go the way he wanted it to, he would, the next day, we say, hey, let's talk about it tomorrow when we've cooled off. She then says, hey, last night when we were talking and you said that you would do X, Y, and Z, did you really mean that? And how can I help you do that? Mm-hmm. He comes back with, I didn't say that. What are you talking about? I think you're crazy.
Yeah.
You're making this stuff up. Where did you come up with that? So then girl fights back with, no, you actually said
Yeah.
X, Y, and Z. Gaslighting can be almost so intense to the form of, I have evidence that I recorded you saying it. This person hears it and they say that you're crazy. I didn't do that. So then the victim of it is like, did they?
Right.
Did I make this up? So if there's even evidence, a gaslighter is really going to just push and push and push and be like, I didn't do that. I didn't say that.
So that's what it actually is.
Yes.
But can you tell me why in the world why gaslight? What is that? What does it mean?
You're having a fire lit under you always, constantly.
Oh, you're
Like
lighting
being
gas
lit to blow up a fire. Yeah.
I still don't like it. I still don't like the word, but
It's like you are always living on the edge of like gas following you, and you're like waiting for that match to burn and catch up to you. Yeah. So gaslighting.
Okay, I still don't like it.
You don't
Erica,
like it,
but I don't like it. But
it's always like,
I get it now.
It's think of, you've got this long wire or this long string, and a gaslighter has gasoline at the tip of it, and they get to choose when the match is lit, and the person on the other end is always waiting for if that match is going to be lit to that one little tip at the other end, and when they light that gasoline, that's coming straight to them every single time. Okay. So gaslighting, yes, but you're living, the victim of a gaslighting relationship is always on edge, and that's why that part of isolation, they feel isolated. There's nowhere for them to go. And then sometimes they get to this place of that psychological manipulation of, well, nobody's going to believe me because he's going to say it didn't happen, or she's going to say it didn't happen. And they believe their story so much that then the other person starts to believe, well, maybe it didn't happen. Maybe I didn't say it that way. So when we say psychological manipulation, it is truly messing with the brain. It's truly changing the way they're thinking, that they think maybe I'm the one that's crazy.
Yeah.
Which is what the gaslighter wants.
Yeah.
And then the conversation then turns away from them and goes on to the other person. So when someone says, you're just gaslighting me, are they, or are they just being mean to you?
Yeah.
Are they lying to you?
They might just be being a complete butthead.
Yeah.
But I think it's good to know the actual term here of gaslighting, what it actually is.
Right. And there are people who are in relationships or who know people who are very good at gaslighting. For example, another one is, hey, we're all going to the beach. I didn't invite you because I didn't think you would go. But you're still welcome to come, but I just didn't invite you because I didn't think you would come anyways. And so the other person's thinking, oh, well, why didn't you think I would go?
Yeah.
And you're telling me you would have invited me, but you just chose not to.
Yeah.
That can be looked at as a
form.
gaslighting situation. Or it could just be looked at, they didn't want to invite you. You just weren't invited. So that's gaslighting. Another one, toxic.
Oh,
You're so toxic.
Everybody throws out toxic relationship, toxic feelings. Everything's toxic.
Right. You're a toxic person.
I'm guilty of it. I will use the word toxic.
Yeah. Well, toxic has just become a new word, a new form of they're just mean.
Yeah.
It's just a new word for that.
Just doesn't go together.
No, you're mean. You're not listening to me. You're not good for me. You're toxic. We're toxic together. Again, another form of relationships that are indeed true. If you're two toxic people, you're not going to form a good relationship.
Yeah.
So let's think about what two toxic people would look like. Maybe a true blown alcoholic and then a codependent person. If those two people end up together, there's some sort of toxicity there. And that relationship is going to have a really hard time being healthy. So yes, there are toxic people. Yes, there are toxic relationships. Yes, there are ways to get out of them. But just by saying to someone when you're mad at them, I cut you out of my life because you're toxic. Well, what was their toxic trait?
Right.
So there are so many therapy words that people are using now that I kind of, sometimes I just giggle at because I hear them all day in like real life situations. Sure. But then I also will have a 14 or a 15-year-old come in and be like, they're such a gaslighter. I don't even, and I'll listen, but then I kind of redirect that and say, gosh, it sounds like maybe you two just aren't good friends.
Just don't jive together.
And maybe she is manipulating you. But when we go into that psychological manipulation, It's just very different. A lot of us can manipulate any situation to be the way we want it to be. We can manipulate people to do things we want them to do. But we know what we're doing. Sometimes a gaslighter, they don't even think about it. They're just doing it because it is indeed a toxic trait they have. What was the other one you mentioned?
Oh, like boundaries. People I have to set a boundary with that. Boundaries,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Which, helpful in the right way, right? But when are boundaries really necessary and when are they not?
I think, I think boundaries, it's healthy to have boundaries in life altogether. Let's take toxic and gaslighting. If you are in a relationship with an actual toxic person who is gaslighting you, you have to set a boundary around that person to protect yourself. So setting boundaries are for you, not for anyone else. Setting a boundary around maybe there's another word, enmeshment, where you're too bonded with someone in an unhealthy way. And maybe that's a mother and a daughter. Maybe that's a husband and a wife. There's an enmeshment there that isn't healthy. Setting a boundary around that, whether it's a toxic person, whether it is someone who's gaslighting, whether there is someone who's actually narcissistic, like actually not just what you feel or what you think. Setting a boundary around people who have hurt you, setting a boundary around people who could potentially hurt you, putting that boundary in place looks like, hey, so I have felt as if I'm not quite myself around you all the time. I'm a little on edge. I feel a little anxious. I feel a little uncertain when we're together. I really like hanging out with you. I really like being over here and spending time with you, but I'm going to have to take a step back and maybe only see you every 2 days. So that's setting a boundary in a healthy way, letting them know this is how I feel. Not saying, hey, you make me uncomfortable. You make me feel this way. You make me act this way. You make me set this boundary. It's
about me.
I feel this way when I'm around you or around this situation. And so I'm going to set that boundary so that I feel safe.
Yeah.
And that's always, setting a boundary is always healthy. Now, if you're going to say, I'm just going to set a boundary because I'm mad at you and right now we're not going to talk for 2 weeks. That's not a boundary. That's you doing like, what is it? Silent treatment, right? So that's you saying, I'm putting you in timeout and I'm giving you the silent treatment. A boundary is actually something you set in place and you follow it, maybe even for the rest of your life.
Okay.
Setting a boundary, even, with yourself in an academic setting. I'm like kids, I'm going to set a boundary around my time at school versus my time at home. And how much tablet time, I do this with parents a lot, how much tablet time, digital device time that these kids get versus when they have to do their homework, get ready for bed, go to sleep. Mm-hmm. So that boundary is a healthy boundary of saying, hey, so what we do now when we get home is you get 1 hour of your tablet when you get home, then the tablet is off. Then we do homework. So everything is kind of set in stone, and that kid has to know that this is a boundary we're not going to cross. This is the boundary we have set, and this is how we're going to keep everything healthy and running smoothly in our home. Mm-hmm. So boundaries are really healthy for everybody to have in multiple different situations. But I definitely think that people who are using these words are hearing them from other people other than an actual professional.
Right.
And they're hearing them from, unfortunately, social media platforms where they are using these words in a negative way and not in a very therapeutic way.
Well, I think that's the whole thing. When I thought about this topic, I was like, this is good because I will throw around these words all the time. And then some of them, because I'm dumb, like gaslighting, and I don't really understand what it means.
Well, thankfully, when you're in a situation of gaslighting, or in most of these situations that people are just throwing out there, again, they're the negative ones. You're a gaslighter, you're a narcissist, you're you're a toxic person, you're not good for me. They're all the negative versions of someone else.
Yeah.
And so it's easier for them. Those are daggers, like if you're throwing them at someone, it's easier for someone to say that to someone to hurt them. And in a way, they're hurting the other person to make themselves feel better. Mm-hmm. But if that other person is going through something, or if that other person truly is just maybe a mean person who is manipulating you, that doesn't make it right. But it also doesn't mean everything you're saying is true. Mm-hmm. So you've learned the definition of narcissists. You've learned the definition of gaslighting. You've learned the definition of toxicity, like in people through like TikTok or YouTube or social media or other people. That doesn't make it true. Right. Like make sure you're using these words and these terms in an actual way, and you have evidence of how they're treating you. Because again, not to belittle it, there are people out there who are true gaslighters,
right?
And who are in relationships where there's gaslighting all the time. And there are people out there that are in relationships or in some sort of like family unit with toxic people. But I think with those specific things, you can set healthy boundaries around both of those things, work through them. And again, like we've talked earlier, move forward in life rather than just throwing daggers with using like really hurtful therapeutic words that you don't truly know what they mean.
Knowledge is power.
Yeah.
Be sure to follow our podcast on your favorite platform or find us on YouTube. Just a quick note. It's a Mental Thing is here to inform and inspire, but it's not a substitute for professional medical advice. If you're facing a mental health challenge, we encourage you to seek help from a licensed therapist like Erica or a healthcare provider. Remember, your well-being is personal, and only a professional can provide guidance tailored to your unique needs.